giving up 6 goals per game. I'm sure that's something that Motzko and his coaching staff are not pleased about. Bob is behind the bench for this one as we are underway with the United States taking on Finland. And off the face-off, Tuva plays it in for the Finns. U.S. back to retrieve deep in their own zone. They'll come up the near side and roll it back out to neutral. It'll be interesting to see it. It has elected to send a lot of their stars home already, guys that will be guaranteed to be in St. Paul in December.
Yeah, that's a discussion point that we'll carry throughout the game, just what this week represents to the different nations and how they're forming their team, and a chance to try new players in different roles, get to see your top guys. And I did hear not only were the top names on Team Canada scratched today, they've already gone home. So it's a very interesting week, but it is a chance for the coaches to get engage what their personnel looks like before a lull when they go their separate ways. And then we have that event coming up late December, early.
Duo will be split between Parsons and Cam Hendrickson, we assume, will come in at the halfway point of this hockey game.
Well, worth pointing out, of the 5 goaltenders that the United States brought, Jack Parsons the tallest, 6'4". For our Finnish fans, that's 193 centimeters. And I mention that because the trend has gone toward bigger goaltenders in the last decade. It's maybe starting to level out a little. No goal.
The U.S. jammed it in, but Nara before it was jammed in. So we'll have a face-off once again in the Finnish end.
And Cole Iserman, an interesting one from New Brunswick
in the nation.
Minnesota ties, however, Shattuck St. Mary's for a year when he was in 10th grade prior to the national team development program.
Koivu puts it right down low, centering pass. Koivu, as he was falling down, got the shot away. 6 goals in this tournament. Almost has another one here.
Let me pick my jaw off the floor. I saw Koivu get that. He one-timer, and Aatos Koivu, one to keep an eye on if you're penalty.
A.J. Mooney penalty killing up front for the United States.
Back, we're 9 minutes in, and we have a scoreless first, a long feeling out period, if you will. But one of the things I'll watch for is the Finns in transition. They do a great job.
U.S. controls, but the Finns jump on that loose puck. Westergaard trying to break in. Tried to center it in front. That hit a leg. And now the U.S. takes over with Cole Iserman. Caught from behind, dumped to the ice by Koivu. Koivu has picked up already 4 minors in this tournament. The leading penalty man for the Finns. But he got away with that one, and now Koivu takes over deep in his own zone.
And I think that's indicative of the gameplay. There's been one power play. The Finns did not get any shots to goal. And
Koivu coming in. Fires one right on. Parsons gets his... Give the crew here at Ritter Arena a chance to remove the excess snow. I believe they're ready. They're standing there. Whaler Company wasn't interested in sharing their name. That's why they had to go with the Mammoth. Koivu off the draw, trying to walk out front. Knocked away from him. 4 players in the corner fighting for possession. Now it comes back to the blue line. Wrist shot, knocked down in front by Whipple. Koivu challenges him. Puck bounces high in the air. Spellacy puts it in behind. Whipple trying to put it off the boards. It's turned over to Koivu right in front, and he scores. You do not want to leave number 9 alone out front. And the U.S. just found that out firsthand. His 5th goal of this showcase.
Water bottle popping. Let's take a look at the replay. That right-handed shot sends that water bottle popping, and just a beautiful feed. He's going to retrieve with their left-hand shot.
Now McKinney puts it in behind. Koivu steals. Koivu carries back near the blue line. Tried to feed it down low, but that was broken up as Park got a stick on it. But again, the Finns come right back with it. Koivu's long shot gets through. 5-on-5, but they were sagging back, giving up that perimeter, and you saw Koivu skate a circle around almost on a guitar feed from, I believe it was Calto cross ice. Here's Koivu with it again, and finally gets pushed down. U.S. has to hurry. Zellers coming across the line, trying to drive the net, but he's caught from behind and taken down. And now Koivu comes back. 10 seconds to go in the period. Feeds it ahead. Center.
And Sweden and Finland, while they played just, games as Sweden and Finland, they had 30 with their traveling party on both sides. So there were a lot of extra players, and not everybody that came on this trip for the Scandinavian teams will be on that. Finding their top power play unit out, they were on to PP2, if you will, because they've had such a good opportunity to get the reps for the higher level guys. We do have the top power play unit, Koivu, Saarelainen,
and must have drew some blood. And so Mooney will be gone for the maximum of 4 minutes. Koivu controls, feeds it across to the far side. Bouncing puck. Tuva couldn't handle it cleanly, but Finns still maintain possession. Vanhanen with a chance down low. That was knocked away. Koivu turning at the near blue line. Now to the half board. Slips it down low. Vanhanen puts it in front. Comes to Koivu. Walks to the slot. Fires, and a great block there. Going down and stop. Continuing to block shots here on this power play, but then it's ripped over the glove up. And the power play comes through. And Finland.
The puck turned over. It was only one defender back, and Murtaugh with a good scoring chance. Huge save, Rimpinen.
Koivu gets knocked down in the corner, pops back up, but Mooney takes it away. He saucers one ahead. Here's Yzerman on the breakaway. Yzerman going in, and he rang it off the post. Goal, Yzerman had him beat, put it off on the post on the stick side, and still the U.S. without a goal.
Mooney to recognize that and deliver a pass that the defender couldn't knock down. Great shift for them, but still, the drought continues.
Now centering pass, knocked down. Tuva after it there, comes back to the line. We get a whisk drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers, but a lot of people have been impressed with what they've seen out of him.
Yeah, I said it on Sunday. If we redrafted after that game, he wouldn't have been a fourth rounder. He was outstanding.
Now Koivu rips one. And
yeah, Cam Hendrickson, just like we saw on the team side, Cam Hendrickson's blocker is over on his left, and we'll see how the Finns adjust to that.
Still on the power play for another minute 20. Fed down low. Vanhanen gets it back to the point. Kiwi Harvey playing catch with Koivu. Then Koivu took the one-timer. Hendrickson used the blocker that time to turn him aside. Now Koivu again with it. Wrist shot. Deflects, goes off the glass. Finland still maintains possession.
If it were a basketball game, they would call Koivu working on a heat check here. He's just going to keep shooting to see when they stop going in. He's firing everything, and kind of looks like watching Ovechkin or Stamkos on the power play. They've got him.
Kivu Hari.
Yeah, it's interesting. If the U.S. could pick up the physicality without the frustration pouring out, they have a chance to come. Well, maybe not. Koivu backdoor. Jim, I looked up at the board. Shots were 22-11, and I think it tells the story. Finland's been the better team. And I'm trying to make a point that if the U.S. can just find a way to keep them from scoring, they'll be in this game. And who else but Aatos Koivu with his 6th of the week, 2nd of the game.
Now the shot came in, bounce. Now the U.S. trying to answer. Moore going right in, takes the shot, and it has life back within 2.
This is huge. What a way to respond. Some signs of life. That pass straight up the middle, splitting the defenders, and then Moore on top of the goaltender. Looked like the initial save was made, but it finds a way to crawl over the line, and the goaltender also.
Goaltender. Finns in the dying seconds of the power play. Try again, and it's deflected out front and in. Saarelainen. And the Finns go back up.
Yeah, the shot from the point is Daniel Nieminen. Nieminen throws it right in front of the goal. There must have been some traffic, and sounds like...
Heard it on 2 of them. Now here's Yzerman looking for the pass. Lets it go across to Moore. Puts it down in the corner. Hensler Drops it off on the near side. Mooney puts the brakes on. Back to the point. One-time rocket right on. They like to set up Yzerman on that weak side. Now Mooney looking for an alley to thread it across. Instead brings it to Hensler. Now to Mooney, the one-time rocket. He scores!
Well, that's what the United States needed. It only took them 36 seconds as the period started. They put out a real good lineup, a lot of big-name players, and it is Mooney that finds the back of the net. Here's the replay. Played out top, Hensler passes back against the grain, and
McKinney right on the doorstep. Could have made it a one-goal game, but here comes Koivu looking for his hat trick. Whips it wide of the net, and it goes all the way. Finland doing a great job causing turn.
The goal, but again, I see the U.S. standing around in their own end.
Mooney now gets it over to the near side. Hensler across the line, holds up, drops it down low. Now back to Hensler. Mooney with it. Cross-ice pass, quick shot. Timer.
What a play. I think you're seeing what kind of player E.J. Mooney is. You mentioned this, or L.J. Mooney, you mentioned this earlier on beautiful, beautiful laser pass. So fun to watch. Shoot first, and the next time he's passing.
There's Mooney with it again. Carries to the corner, now brings it back to Hensler. Back to Mooney. So confident with the puck. Even when he's pressured, he still maintains control. Now Mooney, bottom of the circle. Yzerman a one-time. U18 team, 10 goals, 41 assists. So teams may have power play chance for Finland. Koivu's got one of the power play goals, but here comes the U.S. shorthanded. They got to go for it. Down by 3, centering pass. Just. But they. The Swedes now 3 of 5.
A lot to be learned from this power play. So when you run into a goaltender that's hot, you always think, what can we do to get.
That one's sent down ice. Trying to force the turnover is Park. He is successful. Zeller scores! Will!
This game, and I'll preface that by saying we have something to compare it to. This Finland team beat Canada pretty soundly the other day, and the game really devolved.
And out, Skahan feeds it ahead. Now here's the U.S. attacking again. Long lead pass connects. Yzerman lost the handle, but he gets it right back, stealing it on the far side, puts it in front. Shot goes off the outside of the net as Mooney.